Welcome to Lisbon. Ooh, okay, 7:30 a.m. and we're out of the room. Gonna go grab some breakfast, then meet for our tour. We've got a little bus tour of Lisbon, Shore Excursion from the cruise ship, because we can't really get into our Airbnb until noon or so. So we're gonna go check out the city and then get dropped off somewhere near our place. Let's get off the ship. Let's get off the ship. Oh, look at these big ships. So sad. But happy for us.
I'm glad we win.
I'm glad we win, yes. An adventure! Live long and prosper. Yes, that's what he said, right? Take your happiness with you. Okay, luggage first. We go into this big white tent. Hopefully it's here somewhere. Something to declare, nothing to declare. Okay, now we gotta find a white bus. On the bus, we meet Maria, our guide, then head off along the Tagus River, learning about Lisbon the whole way. There's a river to the right of us. There's the river.
It has
It's very foggy.
maximum width of Lisbon. It is considered to be the second oldest city of Europe, the second oldest after Athens. It was founded around 1,000 years before Christ by the Phoenicians.
The Phoenicians, a seafaring people, arrived around 1200 BC and founded an outpost on a calm inland estuary of the Tagus River, named it Safe Harbor in their language, or Alice Ubo.
Lisboa is
Lisboa.
the transformation of that first name, Alice Ubo, along the times. Older apartments to 50s, 40s, 30s, beautiful buildings, some of them also covered with glazed tiles, the azulejos in Portuguese. The glazed tiles tradition started in the 1200s on the floor. When we started to import
Tile
glazed tiles
buildings
from Seville, made by the Moorish artisans. But we wanted to make them ourselves, so we started making them in the 16th century, in the 1500s. First, the glazed tiles were used for interior and for gardens, and only starting at the very end of the 18th century, they started to be placed on facades. And most of the glazed tiles that we can see on facades go back actually to the 19th century. When the traffic light will be green, we will see the statue on the right-hand side. It's of Fernão de Magalhães. That's the Portuguese name. What's the English name for him? Magellan. Exactly. Very good.
There's Magellan.
That the Spaniards say El Cano because we're navigation. Whereas
That was Magellan.
the
fun of the bus tour. Everything's higher than the bus
and he
stop.
also did the hardest
But we saw the
part of
tile.
work on the way.
I'm getting the story of Magellan circumnavigating the globe but dying in the Philippines.
He
was Portuguese,
We can say that the national
but sailed
dream
for
in
Spain.
Portugal, but Portugal didn't support him. So he did the circumnavigation for Spain. Therefore, he was considered to be a betrayer. Okay, if we didn't support him, no wonder. See on the left
Cobblestone
side,
pavement.
big pattern. It is the symbol of the city, a boat with two crosses. That's the boat of Saint Vincent.
Saint Vincent is, maybe was, the patron saint of Lisbon. In the 1100s, his relics arrived at the city by ship, but there was nobody driving the boat. He was attended only by crows that were guarding the bones. The boat and crows are now the symbol found on the sidewalk and the symbol of Lisbon. The reason I say maybe St. Vincent was the patron saint of Lisbon is that a lot of people think St. Anthony is. He was from Lisbon, and Lisbon celebrates with parties the whole month of June for him.
So the city itself has about 600,000 inhabitants, with a suburbia 2,800,000, and that in a country that has 10,500,000 inhabitants. So we have a big part of the population concentrated here along the coast. Generally speaking, we have 2/3 of the population, and in the interior we have 1/3 of the population. Wine, port wine,
National
or
drink is
even
wine.
table wine. The street art wall on the left-hand side is so beautiful, with a young lady depicted there, made by a Portuguese street artist. So we are now approaching the main avenue of the city, that is the Liberty Avenue. Now we just cross it, and later we will go down this avenue when we will go to the center. A door here to the left, so you can see the
Synagogue.
Hebrew lettering here on the left, and just behind, it's the synagogue. On the roundabout, in the middle of the roundabout, we have a monument dedicated to the discovery of Brazil. Pedro Álvares Cabral discovered Brazil in 1500, into the left. We have the Estrela Garden on the left-hand side, a public garden coming from the 19th century, and facing the garden, in front of us to the left, we have the Estrela Basilica.
Oh, cool.
It's from the second half of the 18th century, especially used for burial ceremonies of well-known people. Along this avenue that we are taking now, we are going to see some fine examples of glaze tiles from the 20th and 21st century as public art. This was actually our first street art. So, and the first one represents the river Tejo, these blue and green ones. The second ones, very colorful, represent the architecture of the city. The third ones represent the fruit and fish sellers. And the last ones represent fishermen. But then we have glaze tiles that are only orange. This one's here on the left-hand side. Funny how they were placed, therefore with different effects.
That's pretty.
So the last ones of this avenue are from 2001, and the same artist as before, the one for the orange ones. Eduardo Neri. Here we have them. They are the Tejo River. The river is called Tejo. It is the longest river of the Iberian Peninsula. Can't realize that there is another bank. We can see it now,
you can kind of see it.
Not yet. We even cannot see where the bridge comes to an end, but the bridge is not that long. It is just a little bit over 2 kilometers long. Before, that's why we can see a little bit of the other bank, but the mouth of the river is not directly at the city of Lisbon. Lisbon is situated only along the river, not along the Atlantic. Bethlehem. That is the translation of the sport galleries.
It's Balaam.
And museums.
It's Bethlehem.
For instance, century as a rope factory. That's why the building is very long, to make the long ropes. To the right, we can see a big building. It is the Belém Palace, the official residence of the President of the Republic of Portugal.
Monument to the
And
Discoveries.
facing this monument, so on the right-hand side,
Henry
we
the
have
Navigator?
the Jeronimus Monastery. That will be our second stop. But our first stop will be at the Belém Tower.
Very aggressive sales vendor jewelry people. If you like pina colada. Do. tower guarded the, what is it called? The Tajia River? Tajir? Maybe this is the one. Say, you silly English Kniggets. It's not the one.
3 kinds of art in Lisbon, according to our enrichment talk on board. The mosaic pavement, painstakingly hand-done cubes of marble or rock, limestone maybe. And then the azulita, I think that's how you say it, the glazed tile that decorates all the buildings. And then new art is the street art. And they encourage artists to paint beautiful pictures on the buildings instead of tagging with graffiti.
It is, it's Mr. Whippy. It's the official souvenir shop for the fortress. You need to do some shopping. We'll have a lot of time. We're here for 10 days. I got you doing the art thing right here. Yeah, that's really cool.
Dub it in.
Exactly. Good job. First aerial crossing of the South Atlantic. Looks like 1917 is when that happened. Okay, bye. See you later, Castle. Umbrella pine trees.
Pine nuts.
This is Embassy Road here. These are all the international embassies to Portugal. Yes. There's Saudi Arabia. That's where Anna and Elsa are.
So to the left-hand side, we have a football stadium or soccer stadium. The football team will answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the first leg, sometimes not. Make your decision. Instead of going to the church, you can have the taste of the pastry. Here to the left-hand side, this building, the blue in the blue color with the glazed tiles. This is where you can buy the pastry.
Oh yeah. Geronimo's Monastery. Down the tunnel, watch for pickpockets. I'll just be cheeky and film all the pickpockets. You want to be on? Yeah. Want to be famous? All the way up. The sign. Fathers of Discovery, built to celebrate Portuguese discoveries and to symbolize the starting point for the caravels. It represents the prow of a ship transporting the most prominent 16th century figures. Okay, that's cool. And the mosaics again. Sailboat over there. Oh, here's the world. We've got all the different Portuguese explorers on the map. The whale.
Whale?
Whale. Oh, okay, where are you? The crab? What are you, Taurus? Or Aries? There I am. Maria was asked, when do the locals eat? Light breakfast of coffee and pastel de nata is in the morning, and there's a second round of coffee and a pastel de nata around 11. Lunch is around 1, a light snack at 5, dinner around 8. Many of the restaurants open from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. All the restaurants in the tourist part of town seem to stay open from lunch to dinner. The statues of Marquis de Pombal, statesman, prime minister, responsible for rebuilding Lisbon after the earthquake of 1755. He's standing with the power of a lion. The naked woman is Lisbon being reborn out of the wreckage of disaster. And that's the end of our tour. We got dropped off at Restauradores and walked to our B&B from there. Cool intro to Lisbon. Thanks, Maria. If you like cool videos like this one, smash that like button and subscribe. Thanks.